Thank you for joining us for today's webinar, Generate More MSP Leads Using LinkedIn. I'm Amber Noble, a marketing specialist at Barracuda MSP, and I'm happy to be moderating today's session. Today, I'm joined by Nate Friedman, CEO of Tech Pro Marketing, a marketing service that aims to provide quality lead generation specifically to MSPs. Nate brings with him over 2 decades of experience in the field. During today's educational webinar, Nate will take us through his steps to success with the major networking site LinkedIn and tell us 3 critical shifts you should take in your marketing efforts. Before we get started, some brief housekeeping. During the webinar, if you have any questions, feel free to share them using the questions or chat panel to the right of the Zoom webinar screen. Throughout and at the conclusion of the webinar, you may be prompted to complete brief polling surveys. Please take a moment to engage with us and tell us what you think so we can continually improve the content and quality of our online events. Now, without further ado, I'd like to hand it over to Nate to begin today's presentation. Take it away, Nate.
Thank you, Amber. Thank you for having me. I am excited to be here. It's very cool to be able to go a little deeper with some of the smarter MSP readers and the Barracuda community. So as you so nicely introduced me, my name is Nate Friedman, and I'm the CEO and founder of Tech Pro Marketing, where along with my team members, we help MSP business owners and sales leaders book more meetings with more qualified prospects. We're based out of Massachusetts, and we work with MSPs all across North America. I've personally been featured in Channel Executive Magazine, Channel Futures, and I've been a monthly contributor to the Barracuda Smarter MSP blog for about 2 years. And I've dedicated myself to solving the lead generation problem for MSPs. I have the mission of helping book 10,000 meetings by 2025. Now today, I'm going to be talking about 3 critical shifts that you need to make in your marketing to successfully generate leads using LinkedIn. The ideas behind what I'm talking about today can be applied to any part of your marketing, but we're going to be applying it to LinkedIn. I personally believe that LinkedIn has become the social network for B2B selling and is a fantastic channel for managed service providers to generate leads. And we'll be going through all that good stuff today. And look, I want to share a lot with you today, so we will be moving fast through today's content. And the good news is that I'm going to give you my slides from today's session as a bonus if you stick around until the end of the content. So if you're scrambling to write everything down, don't worry. You'll have the slides at the end of the session. I'm also going to give you an outreach script template that you can use to base your outreach messaging off. That's based off of some of the most successful campaigns that we've used as an agency. And this is something that you can copy and insert your own details into, use right away in your LinkedIn campaigns. And you can just know that you're using messaging that is solid and it's proven to build trust and start conversations. And you'll also get a copy of our new ebook that was published by Barracuda. And it is the MSP Owner's Guide to Using LinkedIn to Generate Leads. And one of the things that we're going to be talking about today is taking your LinkedIn lead generation from random and haphazard to consistently producing results. And using these tools will help you do that in a really quick and easy way. So if you like today's content, I want to encourage you to stick around until the end so you can get all these goodies. And just one more piece of quick housekeeping. The purpose of my webinar is I'm going to teach you guys about these 3 critical shifts you need to make in your approach to your marketing that's going to help you generate leads from LinkedIn. There's no opportunity to buy anything on this session. You're not going to get redirected to a sales page or an offer with a clock ticking down. But if what I'm talking about is something that inspires you and you think this is a good fit for your business, I am going to give you an invitation to book a one-on-one call with me where we can understand where you are with your lead generation, where you want to be, and if LinkedIn is the right fit for you, and if not, what is. But the purpose of today's presentation is really to teach you these 3 critical shifts that you need to make in order to make something like LinkedIn a part of your marketing engine. So I have some questions for you guys, and this is actually the first polling question. If Amber, you want to bring that up. For everyone attending today's session live, tell me which of these statements resonates with you. And you guys can just kind of click the one that you feel is maybe something that you felt real recently or something that you're always feeling all the time. And let's kind of see what you guys are feeling right here. Okay. My only leads come from referrals. I'm seeing that come in. I've definitely heard that from MSP owners before. Okay. I don't have a plan to generate leads. Certainly, I've heard that a lot. I can't find good customers. It's a major challenge. All right. A little more of not having a plan. Now, look at this, guys. I mean, look at everybody who's responding and the issues that you guys are facing. So if you feel like you're the only one in the world facing these types of problems as an MSP, just look at kind of the responses that we're getting right here. There are tons and tons of other MSPs out there that are facing this same problems. And today, we're really going to be focusing on this bucket right here, this first one, and that's around how to generate leads. But this still has everything to do with customers. It has everything to do with scale, because if you're not generating enough leads, you're not going to be able to have the revenue to properly service your customers, and definitely not going to be able to scale your business and get yourself out of running the day-to-day operations. But here's the deal, you guys. These are real problems, but they're not the only problem that you guys are faced with based on my work over the last few years. And, really what I'm hearing from you guys today in this polling question number 1 is that there is a deeper problem, and that deeper problem is not having a plan or system in place, right? The problems that we talked about just now, these are solvable problems, but they rely on having a process. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that today too. Here's Dave. He's one of our MSP clients, and his story might be something that relates to you. Tell me if any of this sounds familiar to you guys. You know, before we were working with Dave, he had no control over where his new business came from. He had no pipeline or marketing engine to get new customers. He was really strictly relying on word of mouth. Him and his brother, Dan, were the account managers for each and every one of their clients because they couldn't risk losing a single client. They ran a 9-person MSP, but margins were so tight that losing one big client might mean that they don't get paid. Now, Dave just emailed me last month, and he has actually asked us to slow down on the work we're doing for him. Dave has generated so many leads for his MSP that they are booked out for the next 3 months. They can't hire fast enough to keep up with the demand. So we've created a new problem for Dave, but it's a problem that he's really happy to be having. And the things that we did with Dave are what I'm going to start to show you today. A lot of people come to us and they say, hey, Nate, can you just help us with LinkedIn? And really, that's a false belief around your shifts. You're thinking in terms of tactics instead of high-level strategies. So we need to talk a little bit about that high-level thinking today, and that's going to be a big focus. Yes, I'm also going to give you guys some great tactical goodies that you can implement, but I also want to give you that warning that, just going to LinkedIn and thinking that you can plug in some of the messages, just using my outreach script that I'm going to give at the end of the call outright without kind of making these high-level shifts, that's kind of a false belief. So we're going to walk through 3 shifts today, and I'm going to run you through the 3 big picture changes that you need to make in your MSP business to get results like Dave. And we're going to be talking about something specifically that we did with Dave to build his marketing engine. So we'll check back in with him throughout today's content. Who here is interested in building a marketing engine like we did with Dave? All right, that's good. Got a couple guys committed. Let's do this. Okay. Some people happy with word of mouth. If that's your case, if you're growing word of mouth, maybe this is something you can use later down the road, but it's fantastic if you are growing with word of mouth. And what I'm talking about today, through this is through the context of LinkedIn. and LinkedIn is a marketing channel, but these kind of things that we're going to be describing, like this can be applied to any channel that you're using. You can apply these same principles to your website, to going to a networking event, even to an online ad. And before I do that, I want to just paint a picture of where I see many MSPs are at right now. And this situation is particularly huge on LinkedIn, but it still carries over to everything else that we talked about. And it's wasting time with tire kickers and really people that are trying to sell something to you instead of the other way around. The problem is that you're not generating enough leads. No one's calling, no one's emailing, no one's sending you a message on LinkedIn asking for a meeting. And when someone does, it's usually someone who isn't a good fit anyway, or it's someone offering a, like a symbiotic business relationship, or someone who just quite frankly is only in it to try to sell you something. And when this happens, because there really wasn't much of an opportunity to begin with, there's not much of a deal to win. And the meetings, if they do end up in a proposal, don't go much farther after that. But in there, I do see an opportunity. Okay, I see an opportunity for good leads to come to you that you don't need to chase because they see you as the expert. They're not reaching out to you because they want to see if you're cheaper than their current option. They're coming to you because they want to work with your business. And when you've positioned yourself as the expert and the prospect has come to you, it puts you in the perfect position to win more deals. Like our client Jeremy, who runs sales and business development for his MSP. Jeremy told me he sat down at a table with 10 executives from a single company, and they told him they had all been following the content he had been sharing on LinkedIn, and that it was a major reason they wanted to work with him. Now, the first shift that Jeremy made, and the first shift that you need to make, is to change the way you think about your LinkedIn profile and your marketing altogether. You need to go from having an online resume that lists your qualifications and probably looks great to your peers and colleagues within your industry that understand what you're doing on a technical level, understand cybersecurity certifications and Microsoft certifications, and you need to take that and turn it into a sales tool and a lead generation funnel for people who don't know the ins and outs of the IT industry, right? For prospects who are business owners and executives in other industries, right? People who can use your help in their business because they don't have the IT knowledge. And this is about making a LinkedIn profile, an online presence that speaks to the things that those prospects care about and hooks them in. And right now for this shift, we're specifically going to be talking about your LinkedIn personal profile, the one that you log into, with your email address, not your company page. Right. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because that's where we focus most of our efforts. A business page, right, your business company page has its advantages, but with LinkedIn, it's really about networking person to person. It's about using your personal LinkedIn account to bring awareness to your business. So let's talk about how you do that. First step, speak your prospect's language. So many people I see when they make their LinkedIn profile, they make it all about them and what they think is valuable as an IT professional. Now, there's nothing wrong with signing up for LinkedIn and setting your profile up like a resume or even a catalog of your services. I think that's a natural thing to want to do, right? In this example I'm showing you here, this MSP owner, right? He's got great certifications, CISM, ITIL V3. I'm sure those mean a lot. I'm sure this guy's a great IT professional. But the problem with setting up a LinkedIn profile like this, the problem with this approach, is that it doesn't explain what he does or how he can help other business owners. And it doesn't do it in a way that they'll be able to easily understand. It doesn't speak to the things that business owners and IT decision makers necessarily care about. Compare this with something like Dave's profile, right? Said we're going to be visiting back with him. Now, He doesn't list his technical certifications on there, but he definitely shows a lot of credibility. I think these are the things that business owners care about, right? How long has he been in business, right? What service area has he talked about? This guy's got something great with how many clients he's had over the years. I think this is the type of credibility that you can see with Dave's profile that's relevant to what a potential customer might care about. And that's where you want to be working on your profile. His headline, he uses a really easy to understand analogy so that people know what he does and they can think about using for his business. This leads to conversations with people who are evaluating their IT. It's clear, it's intriguing, and it speaks his prospect's language. Next step we're going to do is we're going to build your authority, okay? Whether you're using LinkedIn or just about any other channel, building authority is a key to generating leads for an MSP. If you're not viewed as an expert and authority on business and technology, it's going to be very hard to get people to want to reach out to you for a meeting. And you build that authority through content. On LinkedIn, this means posting content that business owners and IT decision makers care about, educating and providing value over time. And you still have to keep talking your customers' languages. So the topics you write about, keep them at a high level, right? If you want to talk about phishing, don't go in and review the technical aspects of the top 5 phishing tools. Explain why phishing is a cost-effective security measure, right? You're the expert. They'll let you decide which tool to use to do that, but you need to help them make the decision that this is something that they should be considering for their business. You want to have content that's informative, educational, and that engages. When you're posting content on LinkedIn, your connections see it, right? They see it in their feed. And if you're posting stuff that's going to educate, inform, and engage, you'll be in a situation like Jeremy where you're being complimented by a group of executives. So you need to build your authority through content. The third step of this first shift is you need to have a call to action, right? You need to show your prospects how they can contact you and invite them to do it. A lot of you guys, you mentioned earlier that you rely on referrals. And I think we all know, one of the best ways to get referrals is to talk to people and tell them what you're doing, right? Tell them you're looking for new customers. And it's the same thing here. You have to go on LinkedIn and you have to make sure that people know what they can do, right? Do you offer a security assessment, right? Do you offer an on-site analysis? How do they find out more details, right? This doesn't have to be some type of, complex website or landing page. This can be just something like the end of your profile, maybe in a message to, your connections on there. Are you or someone you know looking for a reliable IT service company? Email me directly, right? Shoot me a message on LinkedIn. Give me a call. You can put your phone number in there. I'll be happy to provide a no-cost consultation and price estimate. This doesn't have to be fancy. This can be something simple, but I can't stress the importance enough of letting people know that this is how you take the next step with me. This is huge, and this is the last step of this first critical shift. This is what one of my clients, Mike, did, and he's seeing incredible results. Good quality prospects respond to his call to action. And at the end of the day, I want you to ask yourself, like Mike, like Jeremy, do you want to scale your MSP, right? Is this something that you're 100% committed to? Because if you are, there is an old way of doing this and there is a new way of doing this. The old way is going in without a plan, right? It's trying new marketing tactics like this LinkedIn strategy that I'm showing you today, doing it for a few weeks and then forgetting about it. Constantly trying new tactics, constantly switching approaches and not doing any of them long enough or serious enough to get any results. The new way is going in with a plan in place. If you've committed to making LinkedIn a part of that plan, then it's about crafting your profile, not based on your own experience, but the experiences that your potential customers have had with other IT companies and the pain that they've gone through. Your profile is now a finely tuned instrument that speaks directly to those pains. It builds your authority as an expert and makes the call to action, makes that ask that you know you need to be asking. So I want you to have a LinkedIn profile that is a lead generation tool, right? I want this concept of going from an online resume to a tool that can generate leads on its own to be something that you make happen. That's what this first critical shift is all about. Now, I want to bring up another common situation that I hear from a lot of MSPs. This is hope marketing, right? The problem is you have no one to market to. You don't know who your prospects are. You're working too hard, which is causing you to work too hard on your lead generation and putting you into this feast and famine cycle. But in there, I still see opportunity, right? For predictable and consistent leads, for a system that does the work and makes it easy for you so that you're out of this famine cycle and you're like Dave and you're booked with a wait list. That's what Critical Shift 2 is all about. This is about taking LinkedIn and using it as a way to build your list, going from a network of your colleagues and peers to a network of business owners and IT decision makers within your service area. LinkedIn is going to be a tool to get your marketing in front of the right people, and this is done through growing your network to a network of IT decision makers. So let's talk about how you do that, how you go about actually building your list, and this first step, right? Make your list. This screen right here, you guys, what I'm showing you, this is LinkedIn, and this is a tool called the LinkedIn Sales Navigator. We use this with all of our clients, and it's definitely something I recommend that you guys do as well. With LinkedIn Sales Navigator, it's basically their advanced search tool, and it allows you to drill down to the exact prospects you're looking for. I'm going to do an example here and kind of show you what a typical IT company might look for in prospects if I'm an MSP business owner, right? For myself, and I know a lot of our customers, they work within something like a 35-mile radius, okay, of their address. And I'll put in my zip code here, 02777. A lot of the MSPs that we work with, they like to, sometimes focus on different industries, right? So one popular industry that we've had a lot of success with is something like law firms, okay? Usually at a law firm, we might have a couple different people that we want to reach out to. In this case, it could be a firm administrator. It might also be somebody like a partner or an owner. So what I might do here is just go in here, and I'm going to just look for maybe a managing partners. Right now, I've got a list of 87 prospects. These are managing partners at law firms within a 35-mile radius of our office. If I'm going to start my list, this is where I'm going to start, right? If I specialize on working with law firms, this is the people that I want in my network, and this is how I find them through the LinkedIn Sales Navigator tool. We're going to use that Sales Navigator tool to make our list. Next step, we're going to actually have to make contact and send them a connection request. It's great to find them on there, but you can't just look at their profile and expect them to come back and find you. Just like any networking event, you're going to have success if you go out there and you introduce yourself and you learn about the people around you. So you're going to need to actively connect and grow your network that way. You got this pulled up here? Just click this little connect button right here. Hey, Benjamin, saw you were a law firm, and we're only about 20 minutes down the road. We work with a few other firms here, and actually we've been members of the local law firm association for the past 5 years. Surprised we've never run into each other before, right? Something natural, something normal, something that really provides value. Okay, right? Hey, we've got connections in this space. It's not just about me selling you something. I've been a member of the local law association longer than you have, right? Maybe there's things I can help you with. Providing value in your messaging, right? Don't just walk up to people and pitch them your services. You wouldn't do that at a networking event. You would be yourself. You would start a conversation a normal way, right? And you've been around people either at a networking event or on LinkedIn where you can tell all they want to do is sell you something. People can see that. So you don't want to be those people, right? You want to be the people that know that the reason why you're networking, the reason why you're reaching out to them is to actually provide value. And if you are the right fit, then to pitch them something, but not just for the sake of selling. So you need to provide value when you make these new connections. And when you do that, that's when you can get responses like our client Chantel gets. All right, people who see your connection request, and that's great, right? I saw your profile that you optimized, that you did with your first critical shift. Let's set something up, right? And that's what I want for you, right? I want you to get these same results for your business. And I believe building a network, a list of potential customers for you is a key to making that happen. Now, earlier today, I mentioned that if you liked what you heard, I would give you an opportunity to book a call with me. Now, I have a third critical shift that I want to share with you, and I'll get to that in just one moment. But before we do that, I want to share a little more information about our MSP marketing strategy session. This is a 60-minute one-on-one session with me, okay? We offer this as a complimentary service, which allows us to help as many MSPs as possible and gives us a chance to see if we're a good fit to help your MSP, right? On this one-on-one call, we're going to deep dive into your business and your lead generation. We're going to help you get clear on where you're at right now, build a vision for where you want to be in 6 months, 12 months, 3 years from now. And we're going to talk about the things that you need to do and the changes that you need to make in your business, right? And I'm going to give you immediate insights that will help you get to that next level. We'll also discuss if tech pro marketing might help and how we can do that. And for everyone who's watching live and you're interacting with today's session, or if you're watching this later on demand in the recorded video, and you know already from seeing this that this is something that you want to talk about with me or one of my team members, I'm going to paste a link into the chat that's going to send you to a page that looks something like this. And you can also find this by going to techpromarketing.com, clicking that strategy call link in the top right corner. And this page just asks you some basic questions about you and your MSP, and it's going to help us serve you better. So I'll just give you a moment if you guys want to load that up right now to fill that out and really make sure it's accurate so that once you actually fill out this quick little form, the next page that you'll get to is like a booking widget for my Calendly page, and you actually can book a call with me right there. That's going to be the 10-minute introductory call, okay? And if the 10-minute call goes well and we want to do it, then we'll schedule in that 60-minute call right then. So you guys can visit that. I'll paste it into the chat. Feel free to, Amber posted it, thank you. feel free to visit that, and we'll return to the third shift right about now. So our last critical shift, from haphazard tactics to a consistent marketing engine. We're talking about going on LinkedIn, scrolling through your feed, liking something, sharing, posting, maybe when you feel like it, every few months, every few years, and making LinkedIn a regular activity in your sales and marketing process. On a bigger level, we're talking about making marketing a consistent part of your business process, right? Whether it's something you do personally or it's something that you have enough budget and you can leverage a marketing agency like ours or hire internal staff and you can get the consistency that way, then you can start to see results, right? Before we do that, I want to lay out one final scenario that I've seen a lot of MSPs come to us with, right? And here's the problem. A lot of MSPs that I talk to, they don't have a marketing process, right? A lot of them tell me they've tried numerous attempts at marketing, but never seem to get anything off the ground. And this leads to no results and a wasted marketing spend. But there's an opportunity here as well to build a process that does the heavy lifting in your lead generation. Something that's based on the tactics that are already getting you results and give you a return on your marketing spend. And that's what this final critical shift is all about. Building a consistent marketing engine. Now, this marketing engine concept that I'm bringing up, this is definitely something that a LinkedIn marketing engine is huge. It's something that can be really effective for your business, but don't limit this just to LinkedIn. Any marketing activities that you're doing, you're going to want to put them into this same engine framework, right? When we set up a marketing process that is super consistent, then we can start calculating what type of input we need for our desired output, right? And if we know that, if we do X amount of work, if we pay X amount of money, we can expect to get Y leads at the end of each month. I mean, that's how you can build a scalable business, right? That's how you can build a scalable lead generation system. And, there are two types of kind of fuel that you can leverage in a marketing engine, right? The first one is time. And this is you going in, right? Going into LinkedIn, doing the activities that I'm talking about that I've kind of described today, that I'm going to continue to describe, that are in our ebook, that's in the outreach scripts that you're going to be able to download at the end of the call. And it's setting aside a half hour, 45 minutes each day to run these activities, right? The other type of fuel that you can leverage, that's money, right? That one, if you have an employee that you can delegate this to, if you can afford to use an agency, these are great ways to scale an MSP. And, when you're starting out, this is probably something that you're going to have to do on your own. But I think as you scale, I think this is something that's just a really great thing that you can start relying on, leveraging other people to help you with. It does not have to be something that you definitely do yourself. That's what this shift is all about. So the first thing is, connect with prospects regularly. If you're going to be putting out this time in the day, right? If you're going to say, hey, every day from 7 a.m. to 7:45, I'm going to sit in front of LinkedIn. You're going to want to make sure that 15, 30 minutes of that is going through your LinkedIn Sales Navigator, finding prospects, sending connection requests. This is something that, we have dedicated team members that are doing this for our clients on a daily basis, making sure it gets done. LinkedIn, their kind of algorithm right now, it allows you to send up to about 100 a day. We've seen reports of people who send more than that, getting kind of maybe warning letters and things like that. Nothing I've ever personally received, but we're typically staying around the 50 to 75 connection requests per day mark. You think about that. You saw that little process I did. It's not that hard to find the prospects and connect with them, but you need to dedicate some time to make sure that you really do this. If you keep this going and this becomes part of your engine, that's when you'll start seeing results later on. If you stop and start with the connections, that's where you'll get stop and start leads later on. So first thing that you need to be doing is sending out those connection requests on a regular basis. Next thing you need to be doing is look, all those people that they're connecting with you, some people are going to respond right away to your first message, right? Some people, it's just like a networking event. Some people are going to respond to your initial conversation. Hey, let's talk. Oh, cool. I was thinking about getting a new IT company. I'm glad you reached out to me, right? But most people, they're going to, hey, thanks for connecting with me, but they're not really going to be interested in having a conversation at this time. We want to keep these people engaged, and we do that by posting content. The content that you post on LinkedIn, it gets seen by your connections. So as long as you're connecting and you're making these new connections every day, you're going to be getting in front of them with the content that you post. Types of content that you want to be sharing, things that go back into from what we talked about in the first shift, right? If your client had if you know that a lot of potential clients are having a poor IT experience, talk about why things like that are unacceptable, right? If you know that a lot of your connections are law firms, and you know that there's a major law firm package that's going to be software package that's incompatible with Windows 7, with Windows 10, give an update on that. Explain type of these things. Provide value, but also show people why they want to work with you, why you're the expert, right? Show them why maybe their current IT company is not an expert. And you want to do this on a regular basis through posts, through sharing, and through articles on LinkedIn. And the last thing is that you're going to need to follow up, okay? You're going to need to, you connect with somebody, and they never respond back to your initial message, you need to go back to them, right? I think I don't need to say any of the sales statistics that I think we've all seen before about, most of the, most sales activity happening on the 6th or 7th attempt, right, by the salesperson. So we don't need to kind of get into the details of why following up is so important, but you need to make that a part of your process. So that when you're logging into LinkedIn for 30 minutes a day, if that's all the time you got, you're spending 10 minutes going out, connecting, finding these prospects and adding them to your network. You're spending 10 minutes posting thought-provoking, exciting, expert content, and you're spending 10 minutes going into your connections and following up with them, sending them a personal message that makes sense, and getting them engaged with you. It's like my client, Frank. He's one of these MSPs. He knows his numbers so well. He tracks return on investment within his business, and he just has like amazing business insights. For years, he couldn't find a consistent lead generation system. It seemed like no matter what he was doing, he would just break even in terms of ROI and couldn't get past that word of mouth plateau. Frank signed something like 15 new clients this year. He is having so much fun with his business. And here's the ultimate outcome, you guys. Booking your MSP solid so you can schedule your onboardings out and consistently scale your business. Remember when I was talking about Dave, right? His MSP, he is now booked solid, and we're slowing down the work we're doing with him, right? This is an email I received from him. And I want to bring this full circle because Dave went through these 3 shifts, okay? And here's what happened to Dave. He went from never finding himself with the opportunity to present his services to the types of business owners that he was looking for, to closing something like 90% of a consistent flow of opportunities from good IT decision makers, right? He went from relying on word of mouth to seeing a consistent flow of leads that are a direct result of his lead generation efforts. And he went from relying on hope marketing to having a consistent lead generation engine. Now, you guys, I'm going to draw a line in the sand one more time, and I'm going to ask you to pick your side. Do you want to rely on hope to fuel your MSP marketing, or do you want to build a lead generation engine? I want you to have a consistent lead generation engine. I want you to turn down meetings from tire kickers. I want you to constantly and consistently find yourself in sales conversations with IT decision makers. And these are the 3 shifts that are going to get you there. From online resume to lead generating funnel. From your current network to a network of IT decision makers. From haphazard tactics to a consistent marketing engine. Okay. In just a minute or two, I'm going to pass it back to Amber for some questions and answers. But first, I just want to thank everyone who is for sticking around and everyone who made it through all of today's content today. And it seems like everyone watching live, most of you guys did, so thank you for that. Here is the link to the bonus pack that I mentioned at the beginning of today's content. It's techpromarketing.com/webinar-bonus. And I think Amber could kindly just paste that one into chat as well. You guys can click there. Just click on the little link when you get there and you'll download the pack that I talked about. And I also just want to remind everyone again, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching this on demand later, that if this is something that you want to talk about with your business, we do have this MSP marketing strategy session offer available to you. When you go onto our website and you fill out the form, mention that you came from the Smarter MSP webinar, from the Barracuda LinkedIn lead generation webinar, and we'll make sure that we're going to schedule something between me and you where we can talk about this in terms of your business, right? Where we can go into your LinkedIn profile and take a look at these things. So that's what this one-on-one 60-minute call is all about. Here is the page. Amber's already pasted that into chat. So if you just fill that out, the next screen, that's where you schedule the 10-minute call with me. After that, when we're on that call, we'll find the right time for us to really get those 60 minutes where we can deep dive in together. So if you want, go ahead, you visit that strategy call page right now. So thank you guys for that. And Amber, I'm going to pass it back to you. What questions can I answer today?
Thanks, Nate. As I said before, when we started off, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them in the Q&A panel or in the chat panel, and we can get to those in just a moment. I want to thank you, everybody, for participating in the polls we've had so far and engaging with us. We have one last poll here, and it's just a wrap-up poll for us, really, to see how we did with today's presentation. So if you could go ahead and fill that out. And if you have any questions, throw them in the panels and we'll get to those in just a moment. Nate, I want to thank you for joining us here today. It was excellent hearing from you. LinkedIn, and especially the Sales Navigator tool itself on LinkedIn is it's a major asset of ours that we use when it comes to lead generation. And so really, you know, having that knowledge being passed on to other people, we use it constantly.
Awesome.
I really do think it's going to help people, you know, build that lead generation that they're looking for.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, I'm happy to share it. Same thing on our side. I mean, it's something that we're doing with MSPs, but on my own side, we also use LinkedIn lead generation for tech pro marketing. And it's like my belief about this whole thing is that, you know, this is the new channel. You know, email came out like 15, 20 years ago as this great marketing channel. This is the next channel, and it's not going anywhere. It's only it's only getting bigger. LinkedIn's only organizing it even more. It's changing, it's shifting, but this is, I believe this is something that's here to stay, and it's going to become a more powerful channel for all of us kind of going into the next decade.